spirits have gotten a little lifted. It was not as hard, episode 3 and 4. Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Tyra here with another struggle review, here to discuss Women of the Movement episodes 3 and 4. Let the people see and manhunt. Now before I get into why these episodes were so significant, like you ever watch something that lets you know how far you've come, but just how far you haven't come and how we might be kind of going backwards? I need you guys to drop down and subscribe to my channel and like this video. I'm going to give you guys a moment to do that, and then we're going to come back and discuss all things unity. There was so much unity and togetherness and all this bountifulness all up and through this episode. Didn't you feel it? Didn't you feel the togetherness, all the blackness?
Go back.
Now that you guys have hopefully subscribed to see more of me, let's get into this episode. Now we start off with Emmett Till's murder now being plastered on the Chicago news. The word is getting out. And we also pick up where we left off with the whole wake and funeral being open, courtesy of a very strong Mamie. Now, I did not know that the funeral, the parlor, I didn't know that he ended up touching him. He ended up, stitching him up and patching him up anyway. And they do give us a visual. They do really well here with trying to give us, what happened then. But we know deep down and from the pictures that we've seen that it was much worse. So when he goes, I touched him up, it's just a few stitched. And it's just like, oh my goodness. Like that photo, that real life photo was of him touched up. Not that helped anything, because we continue to see people fainting, shortness of breath. It is just really impactful and really hard for people to view the body. But oh, Mamie, the courage she had here to put her son's body on display, not only to, send a message and get people involved and get justice, but just to do that so nobody else, baby, would wind up in the predicament of her. She was being so selfless at that moment. And I was with everybody else in her family like, you need time to grieve. We're just waiting, for the breakdown, because there hasn't been a lot of space between the murder and where we are now. So it's just like, I don't have time for that. I need stuff that needs to be done now. I can cry later. Damn. Now we have the family here just so excited at the fact that they even got an indictment. Like, we got an indictment. They were actually arrested. We are making strides. Maybe we should stop here. But via the NAACP, Mamie herself, certain family members, this at this moment is beginning to be bigger than Emmitt. This is, for all of us. You have to decide if this is just, for yourself and for Emmitt or for everybody. Now, at first, Mamie just feels like, what more do I have to offer the cause? You want me to make a speech? You want me to, persevere and keep going, surpassing even the wake and the funeral and the burial? What do I have to offer to this cause? I am merely just Emmitt's mother. I'm just a black mom. And we also have kind of that cross between generations and that change coming up. You see a whole lot of change and a lot of separations in the generations in episode 2. But here, it's really here courtesy of Mamie's mom, who very much displays, even though she's been in the city, she's not deep down south. In a sense, she still kind of has her head down and still feels like, we need to keep our head down, keep everything really personal. This is our Emmitt. This is our situation. You've done all you could do. Why put yourself on Front Street, jeopardize yourself, more your family, when you don't have to? that's, their problems over there. Mamie's mom is also very, very much grounded in reality. Just like last episode when she already knew, I know what this is. Emmitt is gone. I know what this is. You guys are expecting a conviction. We were lucky to even get this indictment. We see through this entire episode, the odds were really, really stacked against them. We have this all-white grand jury, the trial being still held in Mississippi. And also, via last episode, those two brothers are at it again. The Bryant family is at it again. This is not unusual behavior for their family. They've been getting away with shit. Now, after we leave the funeral and me feeling a little salty because we only saw the aunt there supporting and didn't see Uncle Mose nowhere in sight. Side note, if she don't marry Gene, like Gene has been all kinds of supportive all up and through each episode. He's there for her mother, her entire girl. Let Gene put a ring on it. Anyway, once we go to Mississippi, we do have people like the DA and the other sheriff in the other county still wanting to handle the case the right way. We want to find, that gin, find that evidence, get this, trial moved over here so we can handle it the appropriate way. We also have the sheriff in the other county who is in control of the case right about now, who is all too close to the racist ass family because he's racist himself, go out of his way to talk to the press, feeling the wrath of Emmitt not being instantly buried like he suggested, and tells them a bold-faced lie that Emmitt probably got away and that probably wasn't even his body. Y'all, when I tell you I was hot. Now, this is when we have so much evidence come into question, all because these people are flat out denying that was probably even Emmitt. Not only do we have that going on, but we have two black brothers come into question who probably assisted with killing Emmitt. Now, we did see, that whole altercation in the first episode with the guy bumping into Emmitt on the street who worked for Bryant. So we are assuming that this is, the Too Tight character and the Henry character that they are looking for. But everybody is so scared to even speak on or to say anything because they feel like they are putting their lives in danger. The whole shookness. We also have the ring that Emmitt was wearing, his father's ring, come into question. And we even have the goddamn doctor get on the stand and flat out lie and say he couldn't tell the race. He doesn't even think that was Emmitt. He doesn't know anything. We knew you wasn't shit when you didn't even bother to give the baby an autopsy. Get the fuck out of here. But this just, uplifts Mamie to do even more. Like, how dare you even insult my intelligence and even fix your mouth to say this isn't my fucking son. Not only am I not going to let you get away with this, but I'm going to wait to bury him. She put off the burial, y'all, just in case you want to talk some more shit and come up here and view the body. Now, Mamie has all but given up when she receives a call that the case is going to trial, and just the utter shock at the value that the community found in the fact that the case was going to trial in 1955. Like, in 2022, we are just fucking happy if somebody just happens to be found guilty in a situation similar to this one. It's like, damn, like, progress, right? Now, this is the part of the story that really, really warmed my heart when we get, introduced to Dr. Howard, Ruby Early, Medgar Evans, like, just everybody in not just the NAACP, but just the community as a whole, how everybody just rallied together. Like, we don't do that shit anymore. Everybody here was just to see how supportive they were, and everybody just uplifted her and uplifted each other in their time of need. Like, that was a beautiful thing to see. And just to see kind of Dr. Howard meet everybody on their level, like, what exactly can you contribute? You're fighting, the small fight. It's like, no, we are together in this. You are thinking of the KKK in one way, when I know the real KKK, the ones that make moves, they're our lawyers, our policemen, our doctors, our ones in, you know, a high position, our judges. Those are the people that we need to go after. Like, say that shit again. So true. We have, you know, judges, sheriff, everybody in town meeting in Mississippi to ensure that even two Peckerwoods, two hoe-ass, it's like the Bryants, will get off. We are gonna make sure that there are 12 equally racist, biased-ass Anglo-Saxon men on the jury. They're not gonna stand a chance. But none of that matters because we continue to see Mamie persevere. Even when she gets a bomb threat on her life, even, you know, she's in fear of giving a speech that turns out to be awesome, even against her own mother's judgment of feeling like she shouldn't go anywhere near Mississippi, she keeps going. She's demanding justice. I'm demanding change. Someone and something is going to answer to what happened to my son. And if we keep our heads down and never do anything about it, nothing is going to change. I'm going to Mississippi. Meanwhile, in Mississippi, we have, you know, reporters, the NAACP, certain detectives. Everyone is on the hunt hard for Two-Tight. Just that fear that was stricken on everybody just not to say anything. And it's just like, gosh, like, what a way to live. It's like, who would want to live like that? But as we get closer to episode 4, we realize that a lot of people there have been conditioned to be that way. And we get a really clear visual of why they're like that. Even Uncle Mose. But we have her gear up to go to Mississippi, and eyes are on her constantly. You can tell that she's so nervous, she's so scared, even though she has, you know, protection in her corner. The NAACP, different figures vowed to protect her, offered her protection. The fact that she even needed protection to go and try to get justice for the murder of her own son is so sad. To prove what happened to Emmitt and find those 2 black men. And here you just really feel for that entire community, and you really identify with everybody, especially Uncle Moses, because we really only see him in those first couple of episodes. And I feel like we all placed a lot of judgment on Uncle Moses in the way that he handled the situation, even though we all knew deep down, like, you know, what more could he do? He would have been killed, the entire family possibly. Like, here it is just like almost like a sickness that has spread for people to be all conditioned to, you know, keep their heads down, not say too much. I don't want to get in trouble. This is just, you know, someone speaking up for a child to you, but this is my whole life. Everybody is so freaking scared. It's just like, damn, being institutionalized. Like, everybody here in this town have been born here, raised here, grown up here, and you're only used to one thing. So when a white man comes to your home with a gun, you're gonna keep your head down. You're gonna listen. This is what you've been trained to do your entire life. Their way through the town and ask questions and just shake shit up. They were considered outside agitators. We heard that word so many times. Outside agitators. Think about how many times we've heard that word recently in the past few years. Like, Lord, what year is it? But we get so much here that is still happening today. Once we have Mammy arrive to speak on her son's behalf, the reporters in her face, and she is just really strong, because you see that she is just kind of thrust into the limelight. Like, you know, just last month, I was just a mom working a job. Now, you know, I'm all over the news. People are in my face constantly asking me questions. And you see these reporters go out of their way to create chaos around Emmitt, turn him into something that he's not. You know, they're asking about Emmitt's father, all these things that have absolutely nothing to do with the case. This was very much, you know, when we have a young man shot or some wrongdoing happen, and they're putting, you know, something to discredit the character, something on the news, some shady shit. Like, what does that have to do with anything? I'm not here for that. I'm here for Emmitt. We have Mamie immediately ostracized as soon as she arrives, and it's no better when she actually enters the courtroom. She is really quite out of her element. She hasn't been down south in a long time, and it's just like, I completely understand why I left. This is a horrible feeling. And once they actually have the Bryant family come out, like, the fact that it just felt like they were coming out and they were being uplifted on someone's shoulders as if there was no wrongdoing. But it was so much to be said that when the Bryant family came out and Mrs. Bryant came out and she had her children, her 2 boys, even with the situation and Mamie knowing what took place and what they did to her son, she is able to look at both of her children and see humanity in them, see them just as kids, see them just as boys. But you still have that same mother look up on her with fucking disgust. Like, she couldn't see that same thing in Emmitt. Like, this was a child. My son was a boy, just like your boys. Fuck you, lady. Now we have a lot more of Mamie being in the town, feeling out of the place, seeing the same sheriff that just handed her a subpoena, having lunch with the Bryants because, you know, why not? It is just horrible. We also have them on a time crunch. We need to find these witnesses. If we find these witnesses that say that they saw these 2 black men or that they saw Emmitt in this county, we have a chance of moving this case here in a better circumstances just for getting justice for Emmitt. But nobody wants to talk. Now we have Mamie kind of change her tone about the community and how she feels once she gets to Mound Bayou with Chief Surgeon Dr. Howard. Dr. Howard here was everything. You know, we see people just enriched as black people, this all black staff. We also have things being said like we have all black doctors, all black nurses, all black everything. You know, so when you go to the doctor, you can see someone who looks like you, who identifies with your pain. Oh my goodness, like, it was everything. And just to see just the beauty in the community from where we just left, and Mamie is just floored. Like, this is incredible. I've never seen a black man reach the status that you have, and yet you reach it and you keep it here in the South, in Mississippi. Why not go up and be great and come up north and, you know, just be all that you are here, there? Why stay here? Why would anybody want to stay here where they aren't wanted? And when he said, like, what does that mean for me as a black man and for my community if I take everything, all this wealth, all this prosperity, and go up north? We need that here too. I wouldn't be who I am if I was to do that. Everything that I want to implement, I want it to be here in the South for the people who need it here. They need to learn to look up too, like, it was everything. Now, after we leave Dr. Howard saying, you know, this was all founded out of necessity, like, we needed this as black people, we needed our own. What a time to be alive. We get back into the witnesses. We get into that change that we've seen occurring with the, you know, the separations in the generations. You know, we had Mamie in the first episode and her mother. Now we have the mother who's a cotton picker. We have the son and his father who feel like they know what happened to Emmitt and they witnessed a few things, they heard a few things, but we have that older generation just feeling like, I don't want to get involved. I don't want that shadow over me and my family. If you could protect me now, who's going to protect me later? Are you considering what this means for me? But you have that younger generation just feeling like, you know, things need to change. Something needs to happen. I want to speak my piece regardless. And we also see that same change occurring in Uncle Moses. We have not heard anything from Uncle Moses, you know, thus this episode. We've seen him, but he's just been very quiet. He hasn't been around any family. He didn't come to the funeral. So when we have that moment where we have Sammy accidentally bump into a white woman and he's just so in fear and, you know, keeping his head down, he's like, I'm sorry, Dad, I didn't see her. And we really see that Moses has been bringing up his boys, even small Sammy, to, you know, keep your head down, don't speak too loud, to think small, to be small. Like, Daddy, I'm so sorry. He was so scared. Like, when are things gonna go back? When are we gonna go back to what we used to be, just living our peaceful life, keeping our head down, being disrespected at any moment, being unnoticed and uncared for, disenfranchised. Like, no, son, we're never going to go back to that. Things are never going to go back to the way they are. And for us to see Moses kind of come into his own, that was really amazing to see. And it was no small feat, especially for Moses, and what it took for him to really get up and take the stand and try to speak, adequately about what happened, even though they tried to tear him down every step of the way, tried to mince his words, tried to make him feel like he didn't know what he was talking about. You heard laughter in the background, just them belittling him. But the fact that he got up there, and I feel like we identify with his situation so much more than we did in that first episode. Because, man, that first episode, we were like, but here, we were very much so not that. And I feel like we were more so proud of him. And we were even more so proud when we got into Mamie's character. Her ability to forgive him says a whole lot, because everybody's not built that way. Everybody's not built the same. But for her to see his courage and just say, I don't need you to apologize for anything. I understand, especially with me coming down here, this situation is so much bigger than that, and bigger than you, bigger than me. You really didn't have any control. I'm just happy that you got up there and said your piece. I'm proud of you. Now, of course, we leave off this episode with the trial remaining there. So far, no witnesses have spoken up for the trial to be moved or for anything to be put into question. But we look forward to Mamie speaking at the trial and speaking on her son's behalf. Of course, we know how this ends. We know what happened. But I find myself watching it here, and I'm very much so intrigued, as if I don't know how this story ends. Even though we know how it ends, and we know that Mamie didn't quite get the justice that she was looking for, that doesn't make me want to watch this any less. And I'm really excited to see how they close off with episode 5 and 6. Well, you guys, that was my review for Women of the Movement. I hope you enjoyed it. Please drop down and tell me how you guys are feeling about the show, these episodes. Are you still watching? Do you plan to watch episodes 5 and 6? Get those comments going. I appreciate you guys for watching the video. I see you next time. Bye.